I'm calling today's devotional A Lesson in Humility, and it's taken from 1 Kings. One of the prominent characters of 1 Kings, he's not a good guy by any stretch of the imagination, it's King Ahab. He and his infamous wife Jezebel, I said in the message on Sunday, they set the standard for wickedness in Israel. But nevertheless, Ahab at one point in 1 Kings chapter 20, he says something that's very profound. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. But let me just kind of set up the story. There's a Syrian king by the name of Ben Hadad. And he comes and he sends his messengers and he threatens, Ben Hadad sends his messengers and threatens Ahab and all of Israel. And he demands that Ahab turn over to him all of his silver and his gold and his loveliest wives and children. It says that's in verse 6 of 1 Kings 20. I will send my servants to you tomorrow about this time, and they shall search your house and the houses of your servants, and it shall be that whatever is pleasant in your eyes, they will put in their hands and take it. Now Ahab had made some concessions to Ben Hadad over time, but he finally drew a line in the sand, and he said, this thing I cannot do. He was not going to listen to Ben Hadad. And so that sends Ben Hadad into a fury. And he goes on this big rant that he's going to come and he's going to destroy Israel. He's going to destroy Samaria. And he's just going on and on about that. And Ahab says this in verse 11. And this is what I think is so profound. He says this. The king of Israel, that's Ahab, of course, answered and said, tell him, let not the one who puts on his armor boast like the one who takes it off. I've always thought that's just a great scripture. Ahab is saying to Ben Hadad, listen, your pride is making you a little bit overconfident. You think you're going to come in here and you're just going to wipe the floor with us? Well, I got news for you. That's not what's going to happen. Well, Ben Hadad just sends him into a fury. And so he comes and attacks Israel, and lo and behold, Ahab and the army of Israel defeat Ben Hadad and the Syrians. And you know, it just made me think when I was reading that. I love that passage, even though, again, Ahab was such a wicked man. I love this passage, you know, because a lot of people say a lot of things. You know, I hear people all the time, and they'll tell me, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to change. And, you know, it's really important to have a good confession. It's important to say the right things and such. But I run into guys a lot of times in jail ministry, and they give me a long list of things that they're going to do and they're going to change. And that's great. That's great. But, you know, the oldest saying in the book is actions speak louder than words. And it's probably used a lot, maybe overused, but it is so true. Actions do speak louder than words. Words are important. It's important to have our confession line up and to be saying the right things, but in the end, it's our actions, not just the things we say. And Ben Hadad, he was going around with a lot of bluster, saying a lot of stuff, and Ahab kind of warned him, hey, just because you're putting on your armor doesn't mean you're going to be the one who's taking it off. In other words, let's see what happens, and let's see who actually wins this battle. So I just encourage you, walk in humility, let your actions speak louder than your words, and let God use you in that way. So have a great day. God bless.